Hello there. I'm continuing with my overview and the analysis of over-the-board games. Now we are in the round 5. And if you watch my previous videos, you saw that in round 4 I have faced a titled opponent, Woman National Master. And now, like I said several times, when you have a Swiss system with a great number of participants, then often you get, in the one round you get title player, in the another round you get complete beginner. So it's very difficult to get the opponent of your own strength. This time I get another beginner. This was a kid, I think he was like 10 years old or something, and obviously beginner. And I played against him. This was an easy win for me, but nevertheless, the game has some instructive moments. So let's go just quickly through the game. I played e4. My opponent played e5. I just went for my usual setup. So, like I said several times, my decision on this tournament was to play the board, not the opponent. So I will try to play the best moves, and the moves I consider to be best, regardless of who sits in front of me. So the fact that this is obviously a beginner, non-rated player, and so on, doesn't change my my approach to the game. So knight f3, knight c6, I play Italian, knight c4, and now he plays f6. And well, you probably know that the f6 move is not the recommended move. Never play f6, as Grandmaster Ben would say. So yeah, obviously weakening move. So what to do when you face a weakening move in the opening? You have basically two approaches. One is I want to punish this immediately. This is a bad move. So right now at the beginning I'm looking of way to punish the move. And this usually doesn't work. This works if the move is a blunder. But if it's a weakening move like this, which is not an obvious blunder, but something which weakens, weakens the king, so stops, prevents knight for developing, and so on, you have to just play. You have to believe that your position is better now, and that you have a tempo, and that he'll have some problems that he'll have to solve, and you can just continue your normal game, your normal development, and do what would you do in any case, and knowing that you will be in development, you will have the development advantage, you will have better center, he will have some weaknesses, and you will be able to exploit it as the game progresses. So what do I do usually in the Italian game here on move 4? Well, if my opponent allows d4, I play d4. So if my opponent here plays either d6 or h6 or any other move, I don't know, a6, any other move, I just go for d4. So I don't go for d4 if my opponent plays, for example, bishop to c5, because this obviously doesn't. I mean, okay, I could, but I don't do this because it's not so straightforward. Or for example, if my opponent plays knight to f6 attacking e4 square, then I don't play d4. But on any other moves, I play d4. So after f6, what did I do? I didn't do anything crazy. I just played d4 because this is what usually I would do in these circumstances. He played d6. No, I just castled. Normal game. Bishop to g4, okay, developing. And here it was me who made a mistake. I messed up a move order. So yeah, I guess having a beginner in front of you who plays f6 does low your guard a bit, and this is something I have to work on. So here I played h3. So he could have just taken the knight, removing the defender of this pawn. And then, yeah, I mean, I will still stand better, but for example, if I take with the queen, he can take with the knight. Okay, I do have some checks here. I can maybe weaken his position even more. But yeah, I will be down a pawn. So, I mean, this was a mistake. The better move was just to play c3 here, what I usually play in the Italian. So c3, and now if he wants to do this. Let's say that he wants to take. Well, now it's a problem because I can after he blocks, for example, with g6, I have this move threatening checkmate. and also threatening to take this knight here. So here I'm threatening checkmate and I'm threatening knight. So c3 was a correct, more correct move. Okay, but I played h3, he played the bishop h5, and now I played c3. Okay, so I made a mistake, he didn't take advantage of the mistake. Queen to d7, and now I saw a move, and I was thinking in this position, should I play the move? So maybe you can pause the video here and try to find the tactical sequence which can either win you a pawn or can bring you in the better position. Okay, if you pause the video, okay. If you didn't, let's continue. So I was thinking about this knight to e5, knight takes e5 move, and I calculated all the variations. And now the question which I was asking myself in this position was, do I want to do this? So do I want to do this temporary sacrifice of the queen, because he can then take the queen, or not? I decided I will go for it, because maybe the correct practical decision was not to go for the complications, because obviously I'm playing a weaker opponent, so maybe I can just avoid all complications, just go with a normal game, just normally develop my pieces, try to win him positionally, get better position, then maybe some tactical opportunity will arise, and this is probably the easiest way to win against such an opponent. But I wanted for myself, for my learning experience, and also for my confidence, that I wanted to make sure that I'm able to calculate correctly these variations here. So I took my time here. I could have played many of simple moves, but I decided to went for knight takes e5. So now there are several opportunities. He can just take the queen, and I can take the queen back. And now from here, he can he can try to save his bishop. So let's see this one variation. Okay, if he takes, I take. And now, okay, if he takes the knight, I take the bishop, and it's the variation is over. If he decides to save his bishop, so he could try to just get back with the bishop, let's say here, then I can save my knight by taking the bishop. So the problem is that I cannot run away with my knight, but I can take the bishop. Okay, and now I'm up a pawn. So this is one variation. Another variation is if he decides not to take the queen, if he decides to take the knight, then he can do it in three different ways. So first, if he takes with this pawn, then I can just take the bishop with check, and yeah, my next move will probably be d5. I am up a pawn. So what else can he do? He can take with this pawn. Again, I can take with the check. He can block the check. I can come back. And now he can take this pawn if he wants. And we end up in this position. I can just now develop the bishop. And now I think I'm better here. Because, well, my king is safe. His king is in the center. He has weaknesses. And so forth. So here I don't win a pawn, but I'm in a better position. And the third variation is if he takes the knight with the knight. Okay. I can still insert this check. And then if he plays g6, I have a problem because my bishop here is attacked. So I had to make sure that I can retreat my queen, defending the bishop. So this was, I think, the most critical, the most risky line, because I have to make sure that by the end of the line I don't just drop this undefended bishop here. Okay, so here in this position I have calculated all these variations. So one variation is if he takes 1, 2, 3, so 3 variations, 4 variations if he takes the queen, and after he takes the queen he can either take my knight, or he can retreat the bishop. So I have to calculate like 5 variations to the end of the forcing line and evaluate and see that I'm satisfied with the position I get. So I did this calculation, and this was kind of exercise to me. And I was a little bit afraid, because if I miscalculated something, I mean, this is a temporary sacrifice of the queen. So if I miscalculate things, it can go very very bad for me. So I had to think about this. There is also this variation. I think I thought about this sacrifice as well. Yeah, I probably saw this as well. So I tried to calculate everything. So this would be here, but I could just play something like queen to b3, and then this f7 becomes very weak, and this is attacked also. Okay, so I tried to calculate everything on the board, and just like I said, for my confidence sake, for the sake of the game, I wanted to play the move I thought was the best. So I have to be confident that I can play the best move, and that I can calculate 5 or 6 variations and be sure that I calculated okay, and to trust myself, to trust my judgment, to trust my calculations. This was important for me. So I played knight to e5, and he didn't go for any of the complications, he just took the queen. So I took the queen back, he took the knight, I took the bishop. Okay, and now computer evaluates this like +3 or something, because obviously I have the center, his king is on the center, he cannot castle. I have much quicker development. I mean, I have everything, so I'm better here. So what to do when you are better? Well, you just continue playing normal chess. So he played rook to e8, attacking my pawn. I play f3 now. I'm not afraid of exposing my king, because queens are off the board. I want to keep my center solid. Now he develops knight to h6. I'm just developing, just making my pieces active. I don't even go for this taking, then yeah, I don't know, maybe this g file becomes open, so I don't mind. I'm just activating my pieces. g5, I retreat, f5. He's now moving forward his pawns, and I think it will be better for him to think about how to activate his pieces, not just moving pawns forward. Okay, so he's now attacking my pawn. I'm defending it with the development move. f4, attacking the bishop. I just retreat the bishop. The bishop is nice here. He plays a6. Again, just pushing forward his pawns. a4. Now I'm stopping b5 ideas. Knight a5. Again, attacking my undefended bishop. I mean, okay, it's defended now, but okay, attacking the bishop anyway. Bishop to a2. I like this bishop. I don't want to trade. c6, and now with this c6 is a blunder. So you can pause the video if you don't see why this is a blunder. Okay, this is a blunder because b4 just wins the knight. So the knight doesn't have any good squares. The only good square after b4 was c6, and now he played bishop to c6, and b4 just loses the knight. So he was very upset at this moment. He saw immediately what was happening. He was holding his head, and well, this is chess. I'm sorry. So d4, d5, b takes a5. Now I'm just winning the knight, and now the game continues in a very strange way. So I guess the problem with these kids in the club is that sometimes their coach says them that they should play the game to the end, to the checkmate, that they're not allowed to resign. And this makes sense, because if they are playing against some other kid, everything can happen. Always there are plenty of blunders, plenty of traps which they can fall into. So this makes sense from that side, and this makes sense from the instructive side. So if you play the game to the end, you will learn something, you will meet some patterns, you'll be able to try something and so on. So this makes sense, but on one hand, but on the other hand, you can obviously see when somebody is just waiting for the game to end and doesn't even try. So I think at this moment, if he was allowed to resign, he would probably resign. But I'm guessing that he was not allowed to resign, so he played to the bitter end. and he just kept dropping the pieces. So you can see that he didn't. He just wanted for the game to end. So first fork, now I win the rook. Okay, check, and now I win the knight again. Fork. Now I bring my pieces up. He's just moving his pawns. Now I win again fork. So this is the third fork. Now I win the bishop, and okay. Now I'm just preparing to checkmate, and at this moment he could still delay checkmate by playing king to b8, and I guess he saw this, but he just wanted the game to end, so he played c5 and allowed me to deliver checkmate. Okay, so this was the game, round 5. So in round 6 I will face a tighter player again, so it oscillates all the time. Okay, the game had some instructive moments. I didn't play this perfectly. I played h3 and practically dropped a pawn, but there was this instructive moment in which I had to calculate 5 or 6 variations, which I did, although I didn't have to. I could just keep it simple and develop my pieces, but okay. This was the game. I hope you enjoyed the video, and well, see you very soon with the game on the round 6. Cheers.